shackles of the government that's holding us back.
Our goal is to revive and implement the independence as well as restore the national and international personality and sovereignty of the former British-administered United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroon.
You are the
Thank you very much, and welcome to ABC Amba TV. This is our history. In our history today, we will, first of all, I want to apologize for what happened yesterday. Can somebody hear me, please? Yesterday, I was talking all along and all alone in the studios, and people were not getting me. If you can hear me, please, can you just step in and say something while I get ready to greet the people of Ambazonia, the very, very resilient and strong people of Ambazonia. I want to let you know that our history that is in the making, call it current events, they are moving according to patterns. Again, our history and our current events, they are moving according to pattern. So if you can hear me, please, you can just indicate, and then we'll go right on. Meanwhile, just listen to this.
Don't you hate it when that happens to you? When it does, you need this and this and this. When it happens to me, I always know where to go. When you've got professionals on your side, your problems don't stand a chance. What are you waiting for? Contact them today and let them take care of your problems.
Yes, we are here to let you know that the history that you have joined us to make is right on the move, and we are moving on to it. And because of this history that we are making, we want to thank all our foot soldiers that are on home front who have taken upon themselves and declared very clearly to the entire Ambazonia and to the people of the world that we must go to homeland. That is the message we are sending forth, that Ambazonians have determined and they have determined and they have taken upon themselves that homeland is going to be our limit. And we are getting in there. We are getting in there. La Republic, remember, you have done your worst and the best that you can do, and it has not worked. So, unfortunately, we have determined that we are getting into that land, and we must get into that land. And because we must get into that land, we want to prepare every Ambazonian. That is why we are bringing to you messages and discussions and instructions, and telling you actually that as Ambazonians, we need to get ourselves prepared. We will not sit quiet and only wait that when we get into the land, we'll begin to find out what should we do, who should do what should do, who should do what. No, a prepared people is a people that is ready to get in and possess the land, and they are already putting strategies in place. Not everybody in Ambazonia struggle is a fighter on home front. When you are fighting on home front, the only thing you think is how to strategize and make sure that the oppressors, they get out of the land while they are bringing their tricks and deceiving people up and down, making some games, playing some games. Like I saw a few days ago, the very military that have been killing our people without any remorse are the same people that are pretentiously calling our people a handpicked few enablers and blacklegs to stage that they don't want them to go. Who will tell you that that's a lie? I think even a deaf man who has eyes to see will know that that's not true. There are people who just burnt your hospital a few days ago. Is it because you think it's not in your area? If you think it's not in your area, hey, just hold on and you will see. Because the method of operation of the devil, which is La Republique, is that let's destroy them one at a time. If we globalize everybody, they will be wise. And when they get wise, we are in serious trouble. So what do? Let's take this group of people, then finish with them. Then later on, go on to these other people, finish with them, and then go on to these other people, finish with them. Now, taking one by one, they will think that they will achieve their goal. But Ambazonians, we are not stupid. If what has happened in Manfe a few days ago, which is what almost happened in Kumba a few years ago, and there was no eyebrow raised to it, I want to give kudos to the Manfe people, especially that man. I don't know how old he is, but even people of 70-something, 80-something years old, 90-something, they are still afraid to die. But this man got up and said, hey, Mr. Colonial, wicked terrorist governor who is sitting in a position that he's not supposed to sit, you are bees, you are terrorist bees. They burnt our hospital. And it is in record that they are the ones that burnt the hospital. Even though they will try to go out there and get enablers like Mimimi for to say that it was the Amba whatever that burned the hospital. And the biggest question we are asking Mimimi for is, excuse me, how do you think that people who are fighting for their land and a place that is helping them to achieve and to heal their sick and wounded people will again get up and burn the place? Does that make sense? That is, an average fool will know that this does not make sense at all. It does not make sense. And so for Mimimi for to come up and be telling stories how that it was this and that burned the hospital, you are just making a big fool of yourself, lady. And of course, Ambazonians know that you are an enabler and you have been spewed out as an enabler. Oh no, we know that you are an enabler. And enablers don't have any real place in our land. So we know them. So whatever games you are trying to play now, they are not working. But then, Ambazonians, listen. We are not only going to sit down and watch these criminals carry out their arson upon us. I want to inform all the foot soldiers and the other defense people of Ambazonia, please glow to your glow. That means gum to your LGA and to your chief of defense. They have very important information that we cannot put it out here on the social media. Yes, we know that this is Ambazonian government's television. It belongs to the government. And Dr. Sako, who is the president, always comes out here to tell us what it should be done. Because we tell the truth. And the truth does not mean that you don't have secret. I remember a time when God was going around to go and destroy Sodom and Gomorrah that does not exist today. We are told that it came to a point where he visited a man called Abraham in his house. And as strangers, Abraham received them very well. And we are told that when he was about to leave, he said, now that I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, can I hide anything from this man? Which means it was a secret. I had to reveal it to the man. So he revealed the secret to Abraham, and Abraham began to intercede, to pray. So there are some certain secrets that we cannot bring here on this place. We'll make a choice of whom to tell these secrets. And that is why we are asking our restoration forces, the ARF, if you want to go to Boya, spare your life, spare the life of the people that you are protecting, then please be a secret keeper. Keep secrets. And that's why we have created another avenue whereby only you can be there to hear what your defense chief is telling you as to the strategies to use. And we have been using the strategies very, very successfully. Now, I want to let the Ambazonian people know that the institution of Ghost Town every Monday for the past 4 to 5 years has been very successful. But La Republic has done everything, and try to break it, use enablers and cause people and so on. Now they have come out with another strategy. I know you have heard the strategy. Please do what you can do best. We cannot tell you anything here, but do what you can do best to make sure that our days are preserved. Every Monday is preserved in Ambazonia. Nobody goes out. Make sure you do what you can do to preserve it. That's the best we can tell you. So if you want to know more about what is going on, go to your LGA, submit to your country defense chief, and then you will hear what we are talking about. Today, in our program, we are going to get somebody from Homefront who is going to tell us our history just as it is. And he will be talking in very uncertain, that is very clear and straight. I will give him the platform when the time comes for him to actually talk to us and let us know what is actually the situation and what is going on. But before we get into that, I want to crave your indulgence, people of Ambazonia, to listen to one of the programs that we actually supposed to know as Ambazonians. So I'll just put it on here. Get ready and listen to this program here. All right. Oh boy. My. All right. The machines are kicking me out in one way or the other. Okay, I got it. Right now, let's go over and listen to this, our brothers, and listen to this excerpt that will give us something to be more radical about taking our land. We cannot allow our land to be trampled underfoot by these criminals continuously. So please stay back and listen to this.
Once we break the shackles of the government that's holding us back,
our goal is to revive and implement the independence as well as restore the national and international personality and sovereignty of the former British-administered United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroon.
You are the most lucky people in the world. No human being in this world ever caught up with his history. You are standing face to face and holding your own history in your hand. Now, what you make of it depends on what you do now.
To restore the state of Southern Cameroon. I say it clear.
The borders of Southern Cameroon are not being made now. They are borders defined by international treaties.
This country was united by a purpose. It was not one and indivisible. It was united by the will of the people of the Southern Cameroon.
And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together.
This is the center of endurance, and endurance is what wins wars. Not how many people you kill, but how long can you endure. George Washington lost almost every battle he had, but he endured. He out-endured the British, and that's how the battle was won. Endurance.
By Monday, we will know whether Yaoundé controls Anglophone Cameroon or we control our country.
Businesses will not open, taxis, Benz, nobody will work, schools will not open, parents should not send their kids to school.
Every moment in the life of a nation can be seen either as the darkest moment or the brightest moment. Usually both are present, and it is our opportunity, by the way we respond, to determine what we make of it.
You must follow your decision to the logical conclusion by pulling out of Amazonia, or we have to say a liberation war.
Nothing is going to stop us. So help us God.
We'll take our country back.
Greatness.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this back so that you can listen again very well. Like I told you, these are all voices of people who are out for freedom. We've heard the Ambazonian voices. We have heard voices from different countries. Their point is we must take our country back. When you know that the country is your country, whatever stories are going on, and whatever games the usurper and the oppressor is spreading out there, and you have this determination that you will take your country back and you stay on it, like President Sako has stayed over the past years, put every mechanism in place for us to get back to our land. La Republique has also played a very strong game, but unfortunately, they are changing goalkeepers, changing the fast forward, the forward players, changing the back keepers every now and then. And they think that by dribbling and changing and bringing different faces of people, they can stop us. No. They have even gotten into our house and have taken people who have stood with them. And he has made these people to be shouting and pointing to the interim government and the president that they are working with La Republique. You know, when a thief is caught and he's running away with the booty, he'll be shouting, thief, 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 as if the thief is ahead. And that is what these people have actually done. Sorry. This is what these people have actually done, and they are doing. I mean, La Republique. And this is connected and instigated by France. Let me tell you, I told you some time ago, and I'm still telling you now, the Ambazonian people, they have what we call a spiritual parliament, and they are talking to God. La Republique has a demonic parliament, and they are sacrificing souls every day for the devil to tell them and forecast. But unfortunately, the prophetic word from Satan always has a K-leg, especially when God steps in. The counsel of the greatest man that counseled David, Ahithophel, when he jumped out of the line of God, that counsel became foolishness, and he died a useless death. And so anybody who wants to sell Ambazonia for whatever reason, I know that many of the Ambazonians who are trying to sell Ambazonia now is as a result of the devil. I will say it very clearly. Well, what will it profit you if you gain the whole world and suffer the loss of your soul? And so there are so many people who are trying to gain only themselves, but they are dying every day. Have you taken a record of the so-called generals and the FMs and the soldiers who have deserted the government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the interim government, and have joined camps and have joined groups? They were formerly with the interim government, talking the same language. Where are they today? They go back even to the so-called activists. Where are they today? They are still making noise. Yes, but the noise is not relevant. So Ambazonians, we are determined. And that's why on this media and on this medium, we tell you the truth. Things that have been verified. We can't just come up here and saying the same thing. So we want to crave your indulgence to note that draft is at hand. And the draft is coming. It's coming very soon. I want to tell you, Ambazonians, for us to get to what these people are saying, let me bring it back to you. Just listen to this. It's just in a few seconds. Listen to this again. and I will be right back and tell you why you must draft, and draft, and draft. Because if you don't draft, we cannot make any headway. You know, the devil thought that by trying to take away the money that they did not contribute, that they were going to handicap us. But unfortunately for them, we have determined and we are going to draft, and we are drafting. Listen to this again once more, my dear people.
Could arise once we break the shackles of the government that's holding us back.
Our goal is to revive and implement the independence as well as restore the national and international personality and sovereignty of the former British-administered United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroon.
You are the most lucky people in the world. No human being in this world ever caught up with his history. You are standing face to face and holding your own history in your hand. Now, what you make of it depends on what you do now.
To restore the state of Southern Cameroon, I say it clear.
The borders of Southern Cameroon are not being made now. They are borders defined by international treaties.
This country was united by permission. It was not one and indivisible. It was united by the will of the people of the Southern Cameroon.
And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together.
This is the center of endurance, and endurance is what wins wars. Not how many people you kill, but how long can you endure. George Washington lost almost every battle he had, but he endured. He out-endured the British, and that's how the battle was won. Endurance.
By Monday, we will know whether Yaoundé controls Anglophone Cameroon or we control our country.
Businesses will not open, taxis, Benz, nobody will work, schools will not open, parents will not send their kids to school.
Every moment in the life of a nation can be seen either as the darkest moment or the brightest moment. Usually both are present, and it is our opportunity, by the way we respond, to determine what we make of it.
You must follow your decision to the logical conclusion by pulling out of Amazonia. All we have to say is a liberation war.
Nothing is going to stop us. So help us God.
We'll take our country back.
Greatness could arise once we break the shackles of the government that's holding us back.
Our goal is to revive and implement the independence as well as restore the national and international personality and sovereignty of the former British-administered United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroon.
You are the most lucky people in the world. No human being in this world ever caught up with his history. You are standing face to face and holding your own history in your hand. Now, what you make of it depends on what you do now.
To restore the state of Southern Cameroon, I say it clear.
The borders of Southern Cameroon are not being made now. They are borders defined by international treaties.
This country was united by permission. It was not one and indivisible. It was united by the will of the people of the Southern Cameroon.
And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together.
This is the center of endurance, and endurance is what wins wars. Not how many people you kill, but how long can you endure. George Washington lost almost every battle he had, but he endured. He out-endured the British, and that's how the battle was won. Endurance.
By Monday, we will know whether Yaoundé controls Anglophone Cameroon or we control our country.
Businesses will not open, taxis, Benz, nobody will work, schools will not open, parents will not send their kids to school.
Every moment in the life of a nation can be seen either as the darkest moment or the brightest moment. Usually both are present, and it is our opportunity, by the way we respond, to determine what we make of it.
You must follow your decision to the logical conclusion by pulling out of Amazonia. All we have to say is a liberation war.
Nothing is going to stop us. So help us God.
We'll take our country back.
Thank you very much I made a repetition of that play for every Ambazonian to listen. And I want to find out from you, have you noticed and recognized some faces that were the faces of the revolution and what they were talking 2016, 2017, and sometimes before that time? You heard all the Ambazonians, they had one goal. We must take back and restore our nation, Southern Cameroons, making sure that La République du Cameroon has nothing to say concerning our country. Now, let me ask you a question. Where are these people now? There are a number of them that their names are very clear, and you know them. Where are they standing? Especially the young man in that program that read out and stipulated the ghost town after Patterson had declared, let us know on Monday who is in charge of British Southern Cameroons. He called it at that time Anglophone Cameroon. Now, when that was said, look at the other people that followed, especially that young man who was reading the document. Where is him today? What is he talking? Can he still repeat what he repeated that day? What has gone wrong or what has gone right? That's why we tell Ambazonians, if you start a journey, don't run out of the journey. Get ready and make sure that you go ahead and you go ahead and you go ahead in that journey. If you will go ahead and go ahead in that journey, I am telling you, it will be a glorious thing for you to go ahead in that journey and make sure that you take the journey to the end. Now, almost 3/4 of them who were making declarations and talking very seriously about our quest, especially some of them are still standing and they are fighting. Some are fighting their own way, which is okay, but some have turned their swords, their guns against the very people who want to implement what they pronounce. What can you take of that? That somebody will stand and tell La République, enough is enough. We are going to take our land. And before you realize, he's talking another language. What do you think is going on? Something is cooking somewhere. Okay? And this thing that is cooking is what the interim government has seen. And guess what? We will not. In fact, Mola, who was inside there, he said, we were never one and indivisible. That it was a plebiscite that made us to go into them. So we were never with them. So if that plebiscite made us go into them, and we have seen that it is not possible for us to live together, the same plebiscite should take us out. But what are they saying? Of course, if not that the whole world, I say the whole world, is lying in wickedness, and the truth has become a lie, I am telling you, nobody, I mean nobody, will be sitting back to be talking a different language. I mean all the Ambazonians who got up at that time. If not that the world has decided to change the meaning of politics and put it another way, then we would not have been talking this language we are talking here today. But because the devil came in, polluted the best of people, because I know that everybody wants to do the best that he can do, but they find it very difficult to do the best that they can do. And that's why they are saying what they are saying. Now, I do not know when Chief Godidinka made that statement that if not, we shall take it by war. At that time, there was no war. I don't know what time he actually made that speech. But you see, every word that is pronounced in a current event eventually turns out to work because it was pronounced. That's why the Holy Scripture says that be very careful with what you say with your mouth, because with your mouth you can condemn, and with your mouth you can justify. And if you go out and start using your mouth anyhow and you condemn, at the end of the day you will be the person to bear the consequences. Now, if we had followed the instructions that are given to us by the Almighty, I think that, well, all things work for good, as I say, because if we had just jumped into Ambazonia, I am telling you, we would not have been able to know exactly what we know today. A number of historians, a number of Ambazonians are coming out to tell us what they know and why we are where we are. Yesterday, of course, we had a serious problem with our sound, and the number of people that were to come in to share with us could not make it. And today, I actually prepared this program so that one of our brothers from home front will talk to us for about 10 to 15 minutes. But guess what? Right now, he is blocked. Yeah, we had discussed and concluded, but he cannot come on the air because of one thing or the other. Now, I didn't want to disclose this because, of course, while we are doing what we are doing here, we are also very, very security conscious. And we don't want to jeopardize anybody who wants to come in to let the Ambazonian people know exactly what their state is. But let me tell you, dear friends, tomorrow we are going to have somebody. I want to call his name Ambazonian Man. That's his name, Ambazonian Man. He'll be coming in here tomorrow to tell us, just point out some serious historical facts for you to actually know who you are and why we must fight to a standstill of La Republic getting out of our land. Yes, we must do that fighting. And in order to do that fighting, we are calling on Ambazonians to please do us a big favor. Can you just, if you have something to tell us, the telephone line is there on the board. I'll just let you see the telephone line. You can call in, or at best, you can send your comment. If you send your comment, we will be able to, answer you and tell you exactly what you would want to hear. And so, yeah, we will tell you what you want to hear. But trying to get this person on home front, which I tell you that La Republique has done something very, very, very funny. You won't believe it at all. You won't believe it. So, but I want to, why am I playing this clip over and over and over and over? Is because there are some fundamental sayings. There are some very deep sayings that these people are saying that every Ambazonian need to hear. And again, I want to say that repetition is only meant for emphasis, to emphasize what you need to know.
Holding us back.
Our goal is to revive and implement the independence as well as restore the national and international personality and sovereignty of the former British-administered United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroon.
You are the most lucky people in the world. No human being in this world ever caught up with his history. You are standing face to face and holding your own history in your hand. Now, what you make of it depends on what you do now.
Did you hear that? That is what Ambazonians need to hear. You are the most lucky people who have your history and at hand. And this is the time you need to stand up for it. Okay, we have our caller from home front. Please just tell us the local government area, or more precisely the county you're calling from. Don't tell us your name. Don't disclose anything about yourself. Just tell us where you are calling from, and then go ahead with the history that the Ambazonian people are waiting for you, are waiting to hearing from you. Over to you, sir. The microphone is yours.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pastor Komando.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I want just to, I'm not making history, I'm just making correction.
Right.
About our people in the Eastern House of Assembly.
Yeah,
are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm getting you. It's still part of history. It's corrigendum, which we want to hear, yes. Because we say some things here, you who were there, you tell us, we'll go ahead with it. Go ahead, yeah, we're listening. Thank you.
We studied in primary school by Mr. S.M. Tita, the publisher of history books of Southern Cameroon.
Yes.
So they taught us that 7 people went to Nigeria. They formed the government of Nigeria and Cameroon called NCNC, Nigeria and Cameroon National Congress,
right,
formed by Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Dr. Ndeli, with Estimuna, Victor Mukete, and the others. I won't call them, I don't know, I'll find out their names. So these people, while Dr. Ndeli was first vice speaker of the Eastern House of Assembly. Are you taking note?
Sure.
Are you taking?
Yeah.
Dr. Ndeli was vice speaker of Eastern House of Assembly in charge of Southern Cameroon business in the federal government. Then Victor Mukete was federal minister of agriculture. Then Estimuna was federal minister of public works. So by 1952, they break away from the Eastern House, wanting to form their own government. They stationed in Mamfe.
Yeah.
So with a high commissioner in Southern Cameroon, J.O. Phillips. Are you with me?
J.O. Phillips.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you with me?
5 on 5. We are with you.
From 1952, the breakaway people, headed by Dr. E.M. Ndeli and supported by Estimuna, Victor Mukete, and so on, the J.O. Phillips asked them to form parties. So Dr. Ndeli formed a party called KNC, Cameroon National Congress.
Okay.
PM Kale formed another one called KPP. There were only 2 parties.
Right.
So by 1953, Dr. Ndeli won an election as the premier of Southern Cameroon.
Okay.
Take note, the era I wanted that it should be corrected to. Foncha was not among people.
Okay.
Foncha was a school teacher in Bukwango. He was teaching.
Okay.
So by the time Ndeli was premier of Southern Cameroon, Ndeli asked Joa and Muna to look for a very good boy that will be a secretary. He didn't want to take Nigerians because Nigerians were so many in Southern Cameroon.
Okay.
Are you following?
Following.
So they for a school teacher, Foncha, who was very humble. Nobody knew about his background. Nobody knew about everything, but they knew that he was a Bamenda boy from Southern Cameroon.
Right.
There was no time at that time. So he came to Dr. Ndeli. He was the secretary of Dr. Ndeli.
Okay.
They were working very well. Foncha was not in the breakaway also. Foncha did not know politics. Dr. Ndeli taught in politics. Okay. We learned this from the publisher of the bookshop.
Yeah. Yeah, SN
You
Tita.
can ask, you know, SN Tita in Limbe, the publisher. He was the historian of Southern Cameroon.
I read the book. I read his books in primary school too. When I was going to school, we had geography by SN Tita, history by SN Tita, civics by SN Tita. He wrote a number of books. I know about it. Go ahead. Yes.
So Foncha was there, very good and so on. All in this matter was with him, but nobody checked, was worried to know about his background also. So as it came, they decided to have a continual conference. I don't know how to make sure tell you some of those pictures. I've just managed to pick them.
Okay.
I'll send it.
Okay.
Conference in London, the conference in London, where Dr. Endeli was in United Nations and the other people, the parliament of Dr. Endeli and so on, were in London to ask for the independence in 1958. So, and then they were to go for election 1959 when Poncha break away with Dr. Endeli.
Okay.
But secretly, we got the secret information we got was that the Crown Council, that is the Crown, that's what the book says, advised Endeli that since he was preparing his country for independence, he should not go for election. Endeli too, with a very proud cabinet and so on, he said he wanted to test his popularity and so on. On the other hand, Poncha has been indoctrinated by country people, Chang people from that side.
Okay.
And so on. That is how it continued to fall apart. So we are going to continue when I post you some handouts, the picture.
Okay.
So that's where I end.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we now see the origin of Foncha, where he came from, and how he became one of the stakeholders of our nation. He was working as a secretary, and we have known that most of these secretaries turn out to be either they take over from the bosses, or they are being promoted to one position or the other. And so we now hear that our country, sincerely, was not one and indivisible as La Republic has been trying to sing it. And in the course of trying to sing this thing, they have demonstrated it very practically by the atrocities they are committing. Exactly, if you know a little bit of European history and the colonization of Africa, you will see that the method La Republic is doing right now is what France did to all the 18 countries that they were trying to colonize at that time. And the countries that refused colonization, they dealt with them very seriously. One of the countries that is still suffering till today is Haiti. Haiti is still suffering. I mean, the worst country that is suffering in the hands of France in the world today is Haiti. And of course, we did hear of the sewage, how they throw in mixed concrete into the pipelines and block all water and then plunder Senegal before they left. I don't know how Gambia managed to escape, because it was called Senegambia and they rejected and refused France. I don't know how they managed to escape. Maybe who of Ghana, of Gambia was the president at that time. And today, the African colonies continue to suffer in the hands of France. And a few days ago, on this very platform, you people, you all heard one of our historians telling the story of how that there was an accord or an agreement or a covenant that was signed by the French, France, with all the colonial countries of Africa. Until today, they are in the yoke of that bondage. They are still in that terrible agreement. And in some cases, the agreement was false. It was not real. They just played over the African people and some of them who wanted to eat, they gave them a big goat to swallow, and that goat that they swallowed has been in their throat up till today. But this generation has arisen and has decided that no, it's not going to happen. Now, 1994, we saw an example of this game plan, you know, with the Tutsis and the Hutsis of Rwanda. It is a memorable story that an average African should be angry. But guess what? Unfortunately, when some of these our African tyrants, I want to call them tyrants, go and sit down there and they test that power is good, they forget where they're coming from. I think the person which we are hailing, we know a little bit, is Mandela. When he got out of his dungeon, he remembered where he came from and then believed that other people can be going through the same stuff. So he did everything in his power to make sure that he carried out what he carried out. Well, a lot of people are saying different things, but we can talk only the one that we have actually verified and the one that was shown in the public, you know, how that he made a difference. But you see, many of the African countries that's supposed to know about the situation of Amazonia, they have just sat them quiet. You know, the Banjul resolution or court case, the Abuja definition, you know, everything, the green tree, everything points out. Even at the UN, they all know that what we are living in is a sham, was not real. But why are they so quiet and only come out to say we condemn, we condemn, we condemn? Could there be something behind this? Yes. And that thing that is behind this, many people do not seem to know. And many people sincerely don't know. But we know that there is an agreement. And once you sign an agreement with the devil, there is no way you can break it. No, there is no way you can break it. This deterioration in 2016, as I was told, that when the uprising got up again in 2016, previous to that, there have been uprisings in the southern Cameroons. And whenever the uprisings come up, La Republic of Cameroon will use their demonic spiritual means to quell it, to put it down. But from 2016, it has never worked. We heard yesterday of the 1997 killings, where La Republique saw that some Ambazonians were rising up to make sure that they do what Wilbur did in the parliament. And these people were determined. What did they do? They stage play a murder throughout the national territory of Amazonia to instill fear for people not to go for voting. And of course, the historian told us that when the henchman of Paul Biya, Foshive, who did not know the plan, that it was an arranged game to make sure that SDF, that today we know that they were wolves in sheep clothing. At that time, we were following them very blindly. We had not known them. We're going to get into the parliament and something was going to happen. So they stage play a murder attempt throughout the southern Cameroons. On the same day, attacks were carried out simultaneously in Banso, in Bengui, in a number of other places. The attacks were reported. And we heard that the Jeune Afrique had sent its journalists to come and cover the attacks. How did they know that there were going to be attacks? And they came out to say that it was the SDF. And intelligence said no. SDF cannot carry out these attacks because they were actually going to be the people to win the seats in the parliament. And 50% of their votes were going to come from the southern Cameroons. How will they get up and begin to attack their own people who were getting ready to go and vote for them? That makes no sense. So that was how the situation was vindicated of SDF. And the real thrill behind it, you heard it when Mendoza went, when Foshibe went to verify it. What happened? He met Rene Owena and came out from that office a dead man. And that was all. The thing was covered. What about the bishops that have been killed by the Republic to cover up evidence? So that trail and that is still going on today. And so when they burnt Manfe Hospital a few days ago, and somebody come up to tell us crap, that Ambazonia. Where have they ever seen Ambazonia burning their own things? Where? You see that the empty, stupid propaganda has been known. And of course, we have French intelligence who are in La République giving them these stupid demonic advices, telling them, you do this, you do this, you do this, and they're doing it to their own because they, the white mercenaries, cannot come out to actually do it. So they recruit people, give them some money, and tell them, we'll make you this, we'll make you this. But then, our conclusion in all this is that Ambazonia has been handed over to somebody who is more than France, more than La République du Cameroun, more than the whole world, in fact, more than the United Nations that are so silent. Ambazonians, the only thing we will tell you on this platform for us to get back our land is to come out with determination to clear anything. No family sentiments, no tribal sentiments, anything that is an obstacle on your way, put that thing aside and then go ahead. That's why in this struggle, if you are my brother, my sister, my whatever, and then you are a traitor and the government wants to take any decision on you, I will support the government to do that. But then if you would want to make it at the end of the day to make this journey smooth for all of us, I'm telling you, you are very, very welcome. And so, ladies and gentlemen, today we'll end so far here. As I told you, we are going to be receiving somebody tomorrow. I call him Ambazonian Man, who shall be talking to us some excerpts of what you're supposed to know. And when you know, what do? Just like what we have heard and we are hearing here. Again, listen to this, and I will be bringing it to an end at this particular juncture.
Once we break the shackles of the government that's holding us back,
our goal is to revive and implement the independence as well as restore the national and international personality and sovereignty of the former British-administered United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroon.
You are the most lucky people in the world. No human being in this world ever caught up with his history. You are standing face to face and holding your own history in your hand. Now, what you make of it depends on what you do now.
To restore the state of Southern Cameroon. I say it clear.
The borders of Southern Cameroon are not being made now. They are borders defined by international treaties.
This country was united by permission. It was not one and indivisible. It was united by the will of the people of the Southern Cameroon.
And that is why we are saying that there are two Cameroons that came together.
This is the center of endurance, and endurance is what wins wars. Not how many people you kill, but how long can you endure. George Washington lost almost every battle.
So endurance is what will make you to win, and not how many people you kill. La République, we have told you we will endure. We will endure. You have killed, and you have even killed the innocent. In fact, you have killed those who are even in the womb, thinking that you will be able to win over. But we are here to announce to you that you have failed, and you will fail, and you will continue to fail. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is at this point. In fact, if you listen to that excerpt again, it says John Washington failed, lost almost all the wars, but his resilience, he made it at the end. Interim government, President Sako, we want to tell you, go ahead. All the plans and the attempted coups, and the ones that are now hacking here and there, well, we have reached an apex where everything will be put into perspective. And so, Ambazonians, stay put, get ready, and listen. And I'm telling you, it will not be long. You will know exactly where we are and what we are doing. So Ambazonians have risen up and they cannot stop. As they have risen up, they cannot stop. They will go ahead, and Ambazonia must and is set free, not by a man, but by the God of heaven, to whom we, the people of Ambazonia, have handed over this country, especially when in 2018, President Sako got up and took over the power to lead these people. When everything was given into his hands, he came up and said, I cannot do it myself. God, help me. And he handed over to God. And when he handed over to God, what happened? God took over. And when God took over, of course, we now see where God has put us as he took over. So, ladies and gentlemen, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And don't forget, we have Ambazonian man who is coming in to talk to us. Just listen to this Ambazonian woman, Princess Ubi, telling us about what La Republique wicked crimes in
honor for women. Some soldiers them from La Republique du Cameroon. They don't have respect, no feelings for children. Some soldiers them from La Republique du Cameroon. They don't have respect, no love for mothers.
For you, ain't a bad love for you. No bad love for you, ain't a case for you. No bad love for you, ain't a case for you.
Mother for 9 months, he carry you for belly, he born you. The body where you suck, you rub her for she water. For 9 months, he carry you for belly, he born you. The body where you suck, you rub her for house.
For you, ain't a bad love for you.